Hello and welcome to a Strange Cacti photo editing tutorial. Today we're going to go over 3 editing tips plus 1 bonus tip that'll make your photos glow just a little bit extra. I took these photos while on road trips over the last few months. I think they are pretty good photos, but they're missing a little dimension, something a little extra to make them stand out amongst other landscape photographers. So first we're going to start out with this photo of Big Sur. As you can see, the framing's good, the lighting's good, everything's quite even, yet it's missing some dimension. So what we're gonna start with, and this is the first effect, and it's also known as the Orton Effect, we're gonna start by creating a duplicate layer here. Okay, don't worry about naming that, we're gonna be merging some layers anyway. You're gonna go to Filter, Blur, select Gaussian blur, and depending on the quality of your photo, how high of a resolution it is, you're going to want to change this blur. So if it's a lower resolution, you're going to want less of a blur because you don't have as many pixels to grab that detail even within the blur. For this one, it's pretty high resolution. I used a Canon 5D Mark IV and I shot in RAW. I'm going to go with 25%. So see, it's very blurry. And next we're going to be clicking on Levels. And what you're going to want to do is drag the white point down so that everything gets a little bit brighter. You're going to want to see some overblown whites here. So I'm going to drag this to the side so you can see the sky, this rock here, some of the waves, they're all a little blown out. And next we're going to be dragging this gray one here, so the midpoints, and we're going to drag them up so that the blacks become more crushed and the colors become more defined. So see how these yellows are popping and the blue is almost this just really glowing cyan color? That's exactly what we want. And just overlay that, merge. So what you'll see here is a photo that doesn't look very good. So this isn't the end. What we're gonna do is change the opacity of this layer now. Go into the opacity of the layer and click, I'm gonna start with 20%. So you can see that the colors are more defined and there's a glowing ethereal effect to your photo here. The water's looking a bit more stormy. If we zoom in here, there's a little bit of a glow, but there's still a lot of detail. See these rocks, how they have those jagged edges? Even the water is looking more smooth. It looks like it's almost a time lapse, how it has that glowing, smooth effect that just is like butter. It's beautiful. What we're gonna wanna do now is we're gonna keep the original here. We're gonna duplicate it, just so we have that there and we don't lose it. We're gonna merge those layers. We're gonna duplicate that so we don't lose it in case we don't like what we do next. And the second step is we're going to click on the black and white filter. Now because there's a lot of blue in this, I want to add a red filter, sort of to make everything that is not blue glow a little bit more because I want that water to look very dark and stormy. So what this does is it brings all the reds up. In fact, I want to bring it up a little bit more. Okay. And then what we're going to want to do with this is we're going to change it to a luminosity filter. And as you can see, everything that's not blue, the cliffs there are very bright and the water is extremely stormy. It's a little too intense for me, so I'm gonna take it down to maybe 70%. There we go, that looks great. And I'm gonna merge these layers. All right, so here's what it was before the black and white filter, and here's what it is after. Before, after, before, after. And this is what it looked like in the beginning. Before, and then we did the levels, and then we did the black and white. And now the third tip for this one, we are going to go into the selective color. I'm gonna go into the whites here, and I'm gonna bump them up a little bit more. So as you can see, the whites just pop out a little bit extra. I'm also gonna go in here and adjust the yellows. I like a little bit extra warmth, a little extra magenta. Let's also bump that up. Bam. Okay. Just the last step, just the cherry on top, I'm gonna add a little bit of a curve here to make sure that we bump up those brights and, you know, crush those blacks a little bit more, maybe a tiny bit. And there you have it. So I'm gonna merge all these together so you can see the beginning and the end. All right, so this is the photo we started with. It's a nice landscape. It's got a dramatic coastline. It's well lit, everything's right, but it's missing some drama, right? It's just not dynamic at all. And this is what we've done with it. Look at that, it's glowing. It's got dark hues of blue. It's got bright yellows, bright blue in the sky. This rock, the coastline, everything that's white is popping out, adding some dimension, and this is exactly what you want to do with your photos. Let's move on to the second photo. Here we have a photo that I took of Joshua Tree. I love this mountain. I love the boulders, I love the shape of it, but something about it just isn't popping. Something about it just isn't giving me the magical feeling that I got when I visited. So let's edit this, give it the same dramatic feel, and even add in a bonus extra editing tip that I did not do in the last one to see what we can do with this. So first of all, I'm going to do the same thing that I did before. Duplicate the layer, filter, Gaussian blur, levels. I'm going to do the same thing. Blow out those whites, bring out those darks so we crush them. Perfect. Merge that. Opacity, let's do 20%. Actually, you know, let's go 50% on this one. I still want to see the defined rocks here. Beautiful. All right, next step, we're going to be doing the black and white filter. We're going to do the red filter again because there is a lot of red and I want to bring that out even more. So there we have it. Let me bring that to luminosity. And this is a little bit intense for me, so I'm going to go with 50%. There you go, you get a little bit of that glow. The color is a little washed out now, so this is when we go to selective color. We go to the reds and we bring up the magenta. We want it to be a little bit more defined, and then we're going to bring it down in color so that it is a little bit more saturated. Before, after, beautiful red rocks. Love it. So I'm going to merge all these layers. Now we did the same thing to this photo that we did to the other ones, but it's still not dramatic. I don't like the colors in the sky, to be honest with you. Lucky for us, Photoshop has a sky replacement feature that will change this blah, just patchy, ugly, weird color blue sky. Select your layer, go to Edit, and then you go down to Sky Replacement. So I've already gone ahead and selected this very dramatic sky here. So as you can see, they've got blue skies, spectacular skies, and sunsets. What I want to do is go with this spectacular sky here. It's already selected, and it's already replaced it. It's incredibly different. The vibe of the photo has completely changed just because of the sky. This is an incredibly helpful tool. I'm going to shift the edges a little bit to bring that blue just a little bit less pronounced there. And it already adjusts everything else for you, and as you click OK, it outputs it into this folder. So before, after, it's incredibly different. I honestly don't know how I live without it sometimes. So again, we're going to do the last step. We're going to be doing the curves, bring out those lights, crush those darks a little bit, give more dimension, and there you have it. Now let's merge these so you can see the before and after. Before, ew. After, wow. Oh god, that was cheesy. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed these tips, and I hope they help you out. Send me your photos so I can see what you've done with them. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.